When music moves, it shakes the world. From passion to action. Catch conversations and inspiration as we get to know emerging artists at the Ohio University's Music Industry Summit.
We are the university that finds the way to do the most unique things and the coolest things.
This is the Launchpad Podcast.
Hey there, and welcome to another episode on Season 2 of the Launchpad, courtesy of Ohio University's Music Industry Summit. We are recording live from here in Athens, Ohio, and it's such a great time. This, as always, is a podcast that highlights the next best now. And today we have an extraordinary songwriting duo who blend rock, indie, pop, jazz into a unique alternative pop rock sound. They collaborate with musicians all over the world, yet make music that sits right at home in the heart. Some people say pancakes and maple syrup go together. Other people say wine and cheese, money and time. These ones are such a combination. I want to introduce you to none other than Deco Halo. Hey, yo, how are you doing?
Good to be here, David. Thanks for having us.
It's great to have you at the Launchpad. And I just want to start off by asking for your origin story. How did the two of you meet, and how did that go down into let's work on music together?
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny because we first started working together in the early aughts, like going way back. Len had a band. And was looking for some help with a background singer. And I was in another project just looking for something else to do. And we met through that, but that particular thing didn't quite work out. We kind of went our separate ways, which is important because this happens a lot in our origin story. But about a year or so after that, I was looking for something new to do, and I placed an ad that he responded to. And it was the same project that he was in, but I was looking to do something different. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll come check it out. And it just clicked. It was at that time, Deco Halo was very much an alternative rock kind of a vibe, which wasn't really where I thought that I was. But apparently once I started writing, it sort of released all of these emotions. And we just clicked together. And then as bands sometimes do, we kind of got together, we toured, we did all this great stuff, and then life happened and everybody sort of went their separate ways. And yet he and I kept coming back and finding each other. So once the band split, we all went different directions, but Len and I were like, hey, we were the songwriters of this band. Why aren't we still doing stuff? And we'd come back together. Something else would happen and we'd come back together. I moved to California, which can be a challenge. So I'd say now we're in our fourth iteration. And still going strong. I don't know, there's something about it.
What can you add to that? What spice can you add to that story? Some Leonard spice.
Oh.
Because sometimes, people remember stuff differently. Maybe there's something you remember on a specific day.
Uh-oh.
Maybe the weather, and it was like, it just this moment, I knew it was right. What's your story about that?
Yeah, I think at that very beginning, and Renee touched on that, what was funny was I found her trying to get someone to do backing vocals to the singer I had. Renee was very nice in that she really determined that my lead singer couldn't sing. And that is why we went our separate ways after the first time.
I knew there was something.
So when she
Pancakes,
came back as the lead singer because she was right and it didn't work out with the first singer that I had.
Interesting. Yeah, this is pretty dope. I like that. And so you mentioned that, y'all moved to different places and stuff like that. So when you do music, are you in the same place? Or do you guys how do you navigate working together as a duo?
Yeah, sure. For a lot of years, we would get together primarily through Zoom. And would video conference and send files back and forth. But, sometimes that just can be really challenging. And so the cadence that we have now is very much like we're together in person every 2 weeks, either songwriting or recording. And then on the off weeks, we're meeting online. But that is morphed over time. But it's certainly like once you get your groove and you figure out when to do the things that you need to do, it's not so bad.
Nice. So maybe talk me through some of your creative processes as a duo. How do you come up from idea to execution?
It's different almost every time, which is what I like, because then it's not routine or mundane. The last single that we released basically came off of a sync brief. A music supervisor sent out of, "Hi, I'm looking for some music to go behind this TV show," and it was a call for an Alice in Wonderland kind of theme. Well, they needed that music in 2 days, and we don't write that fast. So, but Renee had the idea of, well, why not do a song that's kind of going with that theme? And I was like, all right, let's just try it. And, and it just went that way. So it wasn't like the middle of the night inspiration thing. It was something else just sparked an idea. And then we just went with it and, developed, I think, one of our best songs out of that.
You mentioned Alice in Wonderland, and there are a few songs that, like I really like how they go. And one of the ones that recently came out is Wonderland. And you also have another one which the lyrics really stood out to me, and this is Low. I think it's from a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And it says, "I can hear the whispers everywhere I go. I can feel judging." I just want to ask you all about how it is as artists dealing with those internal voices. How do you deal with those things and also not get trapped in a rabbit hole when it comes to the emotions and your creative processes?
Renee would be best to kick it off because
Dang it.
lyrically focused. That's, he's quoting you. So,
It's a balance, right? Because there is something inherent about the art form that is, for artists, that is the place that you can release all of those thoughts. And in that case in particular, that's very much a voice in your head that's telling you that you've done something wrong. And there's a judgment component there, which I think a lot of us do to ourselves far too much. But you still have to be able to put those things out there in a way that are relatable and not too specific, right? Low was this fantastic groove that Len brought into this is when we were still like jamming in a basement, was the iteration of that tune. And I just loved like that funky bass on that. And I came up with that hook on the chorus at the beginning of it. But I can hear the whispers everywhere I go was just very much about being in a place of just knowing that you've done something and you've messed up. And then you're kind of doing it to yourself. But you put that, I think, and project that on other people.
Yeah, Low is a song I think we might have rewritten, or I rewrote a couple times. And one of the things is I'm very driven by the feeling and the emotion. And I think it started as just a straight rock song, and it didn't feel right. And one of the things that I've told people that's different about me now versus then is that I used to just say, this is our genre, and so we're writing for that. Now we just write songs and let the songs tell us what they want to be. So you may hear something that is jazzy, classical, rock, pop. Just we're not trying to hammer a song into some specific shape. We're letting the song tell us. And Low just kind of screamed to me that I kind of want to be jazzy and, and the horns and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I think that's a great segue into something that I call fantastic artist. So you've mentioned different genres. You've mentioned pop, rock, indie. If you could put together one super overpowered artist and pick one thing from one artist, another thing from another artist, who would you pick in what genre, and what would you pick about those artists?
Oh, this is such a good one. But it's so hard to do this. So I'm going to try to keep it short. But I think, and I'm going to try to stick to the women here because, we need women in music, right? But certainly, like, I think from an overall just richness of voice and an ability to just like reach in and grab you, like Aretha's voice is just spectacular. Always was. Um, I think the guitar playing, which I think is sometimes underrated, of Joni Mitchell, and just her use of alternate tunings and just thinking outside of the box about what she wants to do, I think would certainly be a part of it. Um, if I come a little bit more current, I'd probably say like the versatility of Ray. I love that she can do so many different things. She also genre bends, and does all sorts of different things, which I think is really cool. I don't know. Those would be three off the top of my head.
I would go for someone that had the production skills of a Quincy Jones, because
call.
he's very super versatile with what he does. And then I'm looking at, there are people who really kind of, I haven't been able to channel that influence, but I admire, kind of going back a little bit, someone like Moby, where he was able to kind of cross that line from just DJing to creating original compositions and things like that. Also kind of in the support to the women, a lot of people have just discovered her recently, but she's been around a while, was Kate Bush has always been my favorite artist for her creativity. That's a big thing for me.
What makes you wake up in the morning and say, I'm still going to do this. I'm still going to do music. I'm still going to be an artist. What is that makes you wake up in the morning and remain with that desire and that drive?
Yeah, I think this is something that has changed for me over time, because I think there was a point in my life where I was motivated by the idea of being a musician, and I was motivated by the idea of being famous or whatever when I was much younger. I think the thing that has kept me going all of this time is that now it's about the art, and it's about doing something that I'm proud of, and it's about putting something out into the world that maybe someone else can connect with, even if the someone else is one person. I mean, sure, it'd be great if it were hundreds of thousands of people, but like, even if it's one, it's really more about that. It's about giving myself an outlet, because that's where my passion is. That's the thing that makes me feel really good. Like, my day job pays my bills. No complaints. I love it. But the outlet is really the thing that just makes me feel whole as a person. And so it's about that. It's about the art now.
Yeah. How about you, Leonard?
I've always just had that drive to create, and it didn't matter what form it was, whether I was just building something at home or whatever. I liked making things. And then when I found music, because I discovered it late in life while I was in college, it just seemed to fit. And then that drive was there. So the drive to keep doing it has always been there. And it's been hard because I've watched a lot of people I've worked with who've been in bands over the years just kind of give up and just stop. One key thing is, and this is hard for a lot of people to really subscribe to now, because we have bedroom artists who can kind of make and do almost everything themselves. But I still totally rely on the support of others. And that's why we're a duo, because, when things get shaky or I get insecure, I have a partner who can support me and, work me through that, and hopefully vice versa.
Perfect. So before we let you go and continue thriving in the world, we have something called Picture Perfect. So it's like, how can you feel most supported as an artist? And how can we as a Launchpad family help you get there? So pitch a perfect scenario to us. How can we best help you feel supported as an artist?
Oh, gosh. This is a hard one. Well, I mean, this is a big part, right? We're so excited to have been included in this podcast with you guys. For us, I just really think it's about expanding our audience. And I see this as an opportunity to maybe reach some people who hadn't thought about us before or may not have logically landed with us based on algorithms, to be able to go and find a group who is very passionate about storytelling and creativity and genre bending. And so Picture Perfect to me would be being able to capture some more hearts and minds in this process.
Kind of following with what Renee said, there's something like 150,000 songs a day that are uploaded to streaming services and things. And it's kind of hard to be heard out of that. And the exposure through shows, podcasts like this, and just this event, and being able to network and meet other people. But yeah, definitely allowing the artists that do attend to be exposed to potentially new people is the best thing.
Well, it was great connecting with y'all, Deco Halo, and I cannot wait to see and hear where you go next. If you're in the same place on those 2-week fronts, let us know, and we'll come see a concert or something.
Yeah, I love that.
But yes, do stick around for the next episodes on the Launchpad podcast. Remember, it is season 2, where we highlight the next best now, and I cannot wait to have you watch, listen, wherever you get your podcast from. Coming straight from Ohio University. If you're not here, where are you?
Thanks for watching or listening to the Launchpad podcast. Click the links in the About page to get to know more about our artists, follow their journeys, and also find out what comes next in this story. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and see you at the next launch.